another video. My name is Alizea and I'm your favorite black transsexual. Get up into the big purr or whatever. Oh my goodness, I just want to say thank you guys for all the love and support. You already know we're having to do it big or whatever. And now y'all might be like, girl, what is in the background? I could hear a fan. Girl, my AC went out, so we got a fan next to me, girl. So you just gonna have to bear with it on my soul. But before we get to today's video, because I know y'all might be like, girl, I seen this title, I want to see what you're finna talk about. Girl, I need you guys to like, comment, and subscribe, because you will never find another black transsexual like me. Hello. I'm beautiful, you're beautiful, you already know. Get up into the big purr. We gotta be beautiful mutuals or whatever. Go ahead and lock in on myself. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys one-on-one on, you know, how I knew I was transgender. I guess I'm going to just give y'all a little story time or whatever. You know, get a little personal with y'all. And, you know, if, you know, I offend somebody or somebody doesn't agree with me, I do not care. Blocked on myself. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into today's video. So this takes place, you know, when I was younger or whatever. I'm just going to start from where I remember, okay? So I was young and I used to have a very big insecurity with my appearance. Like a lot of my friends told me that, you know, I was so dark and I had, you know, a big gigantic nose and a strong chin, and, you know, I just looked, you know, like a monkey and stuff like that. And I used to very much be insecure with myself. I used to hate, you know, being a black person. And, you know, being black and trans, you know, it gets lonely to the point where, you know, you're born or, you know, you're raised or you live in a small conservative town where there's a bunch of white people. There's not that many black people. There's not that many Mexican people. And you just feel like an outcast. You get what I mean? I felt like an outcast my whole life. Ever since I came out my mama, you know, I felt like an outcast. I felt like I didn't belong in certain areas. I felt like I didn't belong with certain groups of people. The biggest thing that I used to struggle with is, like I said, my appearance and how I portrayed myself. When I was younger, I used to always dream and have dreams of being a woman and stuff like that. And, you know, a lot of people would look at that and be like, you know, oh, you're just dreaming, or, you know, you just daydreaming about something you don't even know and stuff like that. The biggest thing that I used to always tell myself is, like, I want to be a woman. But I would never say that out loud, and I would never say that to where people could hear me, because, you know, I was born in a traditional household where, you know, being gay is wrong, being trans is not acceptable, you know, and just anything that doesn't abide by God and his wishes, you're wrong, you're sinful, and you're going to hell. That's just the way that, you know, I was raised. And I used to hate the fact that, you know, I couldn't, you know, sit over here and walk around and be as feminine as I am now. Like when I was younger, I used to have guy friends or whatever, right? I think we all had guy friends when we were younger. My guy friends, they would tell me that, you know, like, you know, I'm like so gay that I didn't want to play football, or I'm so feminine I didn't want to play basketball. I used to hate basketball. I used to hate anything that did with sports. I hate sports. Like, I'm not a person to sit over here and do manly things. I don't like manly activities. That's just a me thing. Like, I'm very feminine. You get what I mean? And I feel like, you know, when a lot of people notice that I wouldn't sit here and participate in, you know, with boy activities, and I would rather go play with dolls, and I would rather go play, you know, with other stuff and dress my characters as girls and stuff. Like, I used to dress my, you know, Call of Duty characters and, you know, my Roblox characters as girls, you know, because I always wanted to be a girl, you know. And a lot of people will look at that and just think that's innocent and stuff like that. I feel like that's kind of short of the signs of, you know, just you and your transition. Is different for everybody else. I'm speaking on my, you know, perspective in my life journey. But the biggest thing that I used to struggle with is, like, you know, like I said, my appearance. So every day that I wake up, I'll look in the mirror and I'll just be like, you're so ugly, you're so hideous, I don't know why you were born a man and stuff like that. And so when I got to middle school, that's when I started to have different feelings. I started to have different emotions on different things. Like, you know, I used to be, you know, very insecure that, you know, like, you know, what if somebody thought I was gay, this and that? What if somebody thought, you know, I didn't like girls and stuff? So I would always try to, you know, lie and say that I like girls and stuff like that. Deep down, I knew I liked it, my homeboys. Deep down, I knew I liked the guys. I liked the six packs. I liked the sweaty men. You know, I'm just, you know, I like the masculinity. You get what I mean?
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
I feel like personally when I was younger in middle school, you know, I finally came to the terms after me dating like 2 girls. I was like, I don't have no real attraction to women. And when I was younger, I would sit here and try to force that attraction. I would try to force myself to like them. I literally used to kiss girls just for the fun of it, trying to see if I liked girls. And there was no spark. There was no spark. But the minute I get around a guy, just get close to a guy, I start getting nervous. I remember, like, when in PE class, like, for example, in PE class when, they would separate the boys and the girls, like boys on one side, girls on the other. I would want to always go where the girls are because, I didn't like boys, and I didn't like that I was born in a male's body. That's just the way that I feel. And personally, when I was younger, like my PE coach, he would sit here and be like, if you don't go on the boys' side and start talking to them girls and stuff like that, it would make me feel some type of way because it's like, I don't feel that type of way. Like, I want to, hang out with the girls, I like, I like the girls, they're cool, I can easily talk to them. Like, when I'm around, females and I'm around, like, biological women, I feel like I can be more open to them. Instead of me around a boy, I feel like I can't be myself. I feel like I can't be as feminine, as flamboyant, just move my hands around. Because the biggest thing in a black household, not every black household is like this, but the biggest thing in a black household of mine, like moving my hands around, talking like this, being flamboyant, talking so fast, that was not acceptable. That was not acceptable. They did not like that. And so, I always had to suppress my emotions. I would have to always suppress my feelings. And there was a point in my time where I used to be so rebellious and I used to be a crybaby. I feel like part of the reason why I was such a crybaby and a part of the reason why I was such, a rebellious child is because I didn't get to be who I really wanted to be. I was always trying to be something that I wasn't. And that's part of, the journey that I had to take. My mother used to always tell me, like, why are you so rebellious? Why can't you just act right? And there was a time where I didn't know why I couldn't act right. It's all about your environment as well. So when I got into middle school and, I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, this is me, I'm not going to change. And, I really don't care. I came out as bisexual at first. I came out as bisexual trying to figure out, what do I really like, what's going on with myself. And back, at home or whatever, I had this one neighbor across the street. She had a yard sale. She used to do a lot of yard sales. She just tried to get rid of, stuff and stuff like that. And so I went across the street, little innocent me. I went across the street and I was talking to her. And one thing about it, I just loved her. I just loved, talking to her. Just, she just made me feel safe. Like, as, me talking to my mother, I felt like I couldn't, be myself around her. I feel like I always had to hide myself. And I felt like I always had to, hide the way that I really, was. So being at her house, she had these dresses and she had these heels. I was like, can I try this on? And so she let me try on the dress, right? I tried on the dress and I looked in the mirror and I was just in the mirror, like yes, like doing all the extra stuff, right? And so then I tried on the heels and I was like, oh my goodness, these heels are so nice. And so I don't know if y'all ever know that song. I was like, I'm on my high heels, sexy lady. Oh. But then my mother, she pulled up or whatever, right? She was, pulling up at home or whatever, right? So I saw that her car was coming. I was like, yeah, I got to take this off or whatever. So, my neighbor helped me take off the clothes or whatever. But she asked me, she's like, why did you, like, not want to, like, take it with you or whatever? I'm like, my mother would spank me if I went home in a dress or whatever. She wouldn't allow that. You get what I mean? And so I went home that day and I had a talk with myself. I was like, so what does this make you? And I didn't know what trans was, at the time, because, there was no such thing as technology. Like, technology was still being introduced in my generation. You get what I mean? I stumbled across this one video of this gay flamboyant gay boy, and I was like, oh my God, you see how he could just be himself and not care? I love that energy. I love people that don't care about what people think. That's just the most beautiful thing. Just caring, not caring what people think is the most beautiful thing that a human can ever possess. You get what I mean? Period! So the biggest thing that I used to always, dream about is like waking up one day with a moose, and a moose is, the C word. I can't say it on here because I will get demonetized, but I always want to wake up with a moose or cat or whatever, right? There was days where I would look at myself and I would look down there and I'm just like, just inverted. Like I would literally push my thing, you know, my princess wand inwards, trying to see if, you know, it could turn into, you know, a little, you know, what do you call it? A little hole. We're gonna call it a hole. And, you know, I had to, you know, sit over here and just accept it, but I couldn't accept it. There was times where I couldn't accept that, you know, I was born a male. So I would literally cry, and my mother would hear me crying. She's like, why are you crying? You need to stop crying. And I couldn't tell her why I was crying because I was afraid that she would sit here and spank me, yell at me, tell me that I need to be a man and not a little girl and stuff like that. So 8th grade to, like, going to high school, like 8th grade to freshman year, that's the era where I really started to, you know, explore, per se. I started to explore myself. So I came out as gay fully. So I was the flamboyant gay boy. I didn't wear nails. I didn't wear, you know, accessories and stuff like that. I was just, you know, a gay male. You get what I mean? And so when I got to that era in my life, you know, that was a huge milestone for me. Like I finally came to terms, like, you know, this is me. But a lot of people would ask me, they're like, why is your voice so high? You know, you need to put some bass in your voice. And they'll throw that out there, like, you talk like a girl, you sound like a girl, you look like a girl, you talk like a girl, just girl, girl, girl. And they used to do that a lot. Like, I don't know if anybody ever had this, but a lot of people would sit here and be like, oh, you look gay, you talk gay, you sound gay, you dress gay. And it's like, when you throw those things out to people, you know, that stuff can, like, literally linger with you in your head. And you start feeling insecure about those things. You start walking, you're trying to walk straight. You're trying to walk like a man. You're trying to not, you know, look as feminine because you're scared of what people think about you. And then I got to high school, and, you know, that's when I really, like, started seeing different things. Like, when you get to high school, you start seeing different types of people. You start seeing different groups of people. So when I got to high school, that's when I finally got my new friend group, and I decided, you know, like, you know, hey, this is me, you get what I mean? And I started hanging around a lot more gay people, you get what I mean? The biggest thing that I used to struggle with as a gay person was, you know, do these people, you know, sit over here and like me for me? And I would sit here and I would wake up and I would just be like, you know, every day that I wake up and I put on my clothes, I'm like, I don't like these clothes. I hate boy clothes. Like, I would insert a picture right here. Like, I don't like boy clothes. I just felt so insecure with those clothes on because it's like, you know, I don't feel like that. That doesn't feel like me. You get what I mean? And so I would literally go home after school and start crying because it's just like, I don't like the way that I am. I don't like who I am. And a lot of people can relate to me. And a lot of people don't understand. Like, the biggest thing that people who don't understand trans people, they're trying to figure out, like, what made you trans? Like, what made you turn into this? Nothing makes you trans and nothing makes you gay. It's just who you are. Like, the biggest thing that a lot of people never ask their question, like, how would you know that you're not gay? Like, really ask yourself that question. How would you know that you're not gay? How would you know that you're not trans? How would you know if you're not this? If you know that you're not that, you wouldn't second guess it. You get what I mean? You just live in your truth. And I would always second guess myself and be like, why do I like this? Why do I like that? Why am I attracted to boys? Why would I do this? Why would I do that? And so, you know, after that, you know, my homegirl, she was like, you know, girl, can I play in your hair? Can I sit over here and put these 2 buns in your hair or whatever, right? So she put 2 buns in my hair. I can't find the photo, but when she put 2 buns in my hair, you know, I was like, oh my God, like, girl, I got like buns in my hair. Like, please don't play with me. You know, I have little hand movements. One thing about it, 2 things for sure. Like, when you gay and you flamboyant, you just don't care. You just like, you have the little hand movements. You like, yes, girl, like, yes, Quita, girl, don't play with me, Quita, like, no tea, no shade. And so after that, I realized, you know, maybe, like, you know, I want to start getting my hair done. But it didn't, you know, I didn't confirm that with myself until, like, my homegirl, she decided, Alizea, or I wasn't Alizea at the time, she was like, hey, Isaiah, you know, I want to put some box braids in your hair for free. Like, you don't even have to pay me. I just want to play in your hair. I just want to see, like, how the box braids would be. So we decided to go to the wig store, and we went to the wig store to, you know, go buy, you know, hair or whatever, right? And I'm going to insert the little video right here. Take videos. So I got to my homegirl's house. She put the weave in my hair or whatever, right? When I tell you, it's like a refreshing feeling to have your hair done. It's like you're a whole new person. Like, it's like a whole new era. You get what I mean? Like, I was literally standing up just like, and I insert another clip of just me just feeling, feeling the hair. How? You're just jealous. Jealous of what? Your split ends? Bitch, you look like a Dolan twin. Shakira. I was feeling the hair. I was feeling everything. I just acted so brand new. You get what I mean? And so then that's when, my mama, she walked in the house and she seen that I had hair in my head. And she looked astonished. She was like, oh, wow, like you have box braids in here. She thought I was just acting like Waka Flocka, she thought I was just acting like this, acting like, I was trying to get dreadlocks or whatever, right? She didn't think nothing of it. Little did she know I want to be a girl. Little did she know this was part of the start of my transition. This was like really pre-transition phase. So in the midst of it, I got clarification that she didn't care about me having weave in my hair. So after that, I was like going overboard. I started, wearing lashes or whatever, and this is when my homegirl in school, she would sit here and put lashes on me. I don't know if I can find a video or whatever, but I'll just insert it right here if I do. But yeah, she would sit here and find lashes, and she'll be like, can I put these lashes on you? And I'm like, girl, yes, put the lashes on me. I love me a good lash, I love this, right? So I've gotten to that era in my life, like, this is me. But as soon as I get home, I would take the lashes off, I would take the nails off, I would wipe the lip gloss off, because I was afraid that my mother, like I said, would sit here and disown me. My mother would sit here and not accept me for me. So there was a point in my life, and there was a point in my journey, that I realized, why do I really care about what people think? My mother always told me, and this is what stuck with me. I asked, like, Mom, do you really love me? And she looked at me and she was like, what makes you think that I don't love you? I'm like, do you really love me? Like, I really wanted to ask her, like, do you really love me? Will you love me for me and not care about whatever I do? She's like, as long as you're not a serial killer, I wouldn't care. Like, I love you for you. You get what I mean? And so when she said that, I was like, you know what? One day I'm going to just walk in the house with makeup and stuff on and just see how she acts. You get what I mean? So that's when, I did just that. I came home from school one day, box braids in my hair, of course. She already knew I had box braids. But, I decided to wear makeup. I started to wear lip gloss. I started to wear lashes. Like, girl, I was giving flamboyant bad beat. Like, hello. I was looking like the baddest bitch up in this motherfucker. Like, don't play with me. So in the midst of it, that's when, I went inside and my mother was astonished. She's like, why do you got all the girl stuff on your face? I'm like, Mom, I think, I like wearing this stuff, and I think I'm just fully, gay. I think I'm just fully gay, you get what I mean? Because I was bisexual to her, because I was trying to, lie and say that I like the girls. Little did she know, I like the boys. Honey, it ain't never going away. It ain't never going away on myself. So, yeah, I was meeting myself, and she was a little astonished. She, had to sit over here and talk to herself and tell herself and stuff like that. She was trying to pray the gay away on me and stuff like that. I was just like, girl, I'm still gonna be myself regardless if you accept me or not. So after she came to terms that I'm not gonna change or whatever, right? She was like, okay, cool. So after that, that's when I really started to get into girl clothes. I really started to wear, different stuff. And when I finally got my first bra, I have a bra on right now. I don't know if y'all can see, but I have a bra on. When you wear a bra, it just makes you look like a full-on, bad bitch. I don't know. It the bra is what secures your femininity. That's just in my opinion. Because, I wasn't born with natural, mommy milkers or whatever. So I would try to enhance my look with, a bra. So it looks like I have mommy milkers. Because if you don't want to get clocked by any boys or any girls, you need to have mommy milkers, because they're going to be like, oh, that's not a flat-chested woman, or, if you know, you know. So I got into that point in my life where, I'm starting to wear all these girl clothes. I'm starting to wear all this stuff. I'm starting to look more like a girl, but I was still going by Isaiah. So what did it for me was, I was in school one day, and this was my, I think, sophomore year in high school. This was my first day of school. So I was walking through the hallways, and I was just being me, right? And so they're like, is that a boy? Is that a girl? Is that a boy? Is that a girl? And people are calling me girl, hey girl, this and that. I'm like, okay. And then they're saying she, her. They're not saying he, him. The biggest thing, like, you know, that I was afraid of, you know, like what people accept me, because I went to a very homophobic school. Like, that school literally, that's a whole nother topic. But in that high school, you know, a lot of people would sit here and say she and her. So I just felt comfortable, like, you know, being mistaken as she and her. You get what I mean? Like, it felt safe to be mistaken as she and her. Because when people would say he, him, I feel uncomfortable. I would feel like, you know, it's just a little reminder, yes, you know, it just hurt my little feelings, you know. So then after that, I met this one girl. We're gonna call her Super Peach or whatever. It's like to her Waco name, but if you know, you know. So Super Peach or whatever, right? She ended up following me on Instagram or whatever, right? And that's when Super Peach, you know, she was like, oh my goodness, you're so pretty. I would love for you to be my daughter, this and that, this and that. And I'm just like, girl, I don't even know you, but you're so known in Waco. I'm like, girl, not the most popular person in Waco is trying to, you know, make me their daughter. Of course I'm going to accept. You get what I mean, right? So then that's when, you know, she was like, so what do you want to go by? Like, what's your name? I never thought of it. Like, I never thought to ever change my name. Like, that never occurred to me. You get what I mean? And mind you, I'm still like, you know, trying to figure out like what is a trans person. You get what I mean? And so I asked her, I was like, what is a trans person? So she's basically telling me what a trans person is, like gender identity, gender ideology, and all that extra stuff. You get what I mean? And when she was explaining it to me, it made me realize maybe I'm not just a gay boy with braids on and nails on and makeup on. Maybe I'm actually a trans woman. You get what I mean? And so she was telling me, like, think on it and think, you know, hard on it. And also think of a name if you are trans. Like, you don't want to go by Isaiah. That's not, you know, that's not cunty. That's not cute. And that's like when I first heard of cunty, I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to start thinking on it. So at first I wanted to go with Ivy. But then I realized maybe that's not as cute as I think it is, because there's already Blue Ivy, you know, like if I ever want to be famous, like, you know, no. And then I thought of Sharonda. I don't know why I thought of Sharonda. I just like ghetto names. Then I thought of, you know, Parker, but that was like, that sounds like a boy's name. I was thinking of all these different names, you get what I mean? But I wanted something that sounded like my name, you get what I mean? My biological name is Isaiah, you get what I mean? But the name that I go by to this day is Alizaiah. You get what I mean? It sounds the same, you get what I mean? So I don't know what I thought of, but out of nowhere, I just thought of Alizaiah. I was like, Alizaiah. You know, I was like, hold on, this is cute.
I know that's right.
So when I, you know, finally decided, yeah, this is me, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go by she, her pronouns. I'm gonna start doing this is me, this is my journey, and this is how I live. You get what I mean? And so that's when I decided I wanted to get the courage to tell my mother that I'm transgender. And I was afraid that she was gonna reject my, you know, coming out, you know, story. And I was afraid that she was going to accept me and she was going to disown me and stuff like that. Because, like, she was, you know, at the time, homophobic. I'm not going to lie. And, you know, a lot of people say, like, this is the biggest thing that a lot of people in my family, you know, say. A lot of people in my family say that they support, you know, gay people and so say that they support, you know, trans people and stuff like that. But the biggest thing that I always tell people, especially my family, if you support me and you want the best for me, if you support me, why can't you just accept me for me? The biggest thing that I always try to tell my family is, like, why can't you use my pronouns? If you say you love me, it isn't that hard to just use my pronouns. I know you know me personally. You know that I was born a biological male. But can't you just sit here and, you know, accept me for me and accept me for all of my flaws? The biggest thing that I always, like, tell people, if you love somebody, you truly love somebody, why can't you accept them for all their flaws? You get what I mean? So I ended up coming out to my mother and I told my mama, like, you know, Mom, I think I'm trans and, you know, I want to move forward with my transition. And she was so astonished. She's like, so you don't like girls at all? I'm like, Mom, like, I can't see myself with a woman. I just can't see myself with a woman. So she, started flipping out. She's like, you're sinning. You're not even supposed to be doing this. I let you slide and I let this stuff go in my house unnoticed and stuff, but I'm not allowing you to transition this and that. And I was taken aback. I'm not gonna lie. I was taken aback. Like, I started to cry because I felt like, the one person, and I might start crying, but like the one person who I wanted to accept me the most is telling me that they can accept me because it goes against God's wishes and it goes against what God would want me to do. The biggest thing, and this is what I always tell people, if you say that God loves everybody and to give your life to God, my biggest thing with a lot of Christians, and this might ruffle a lot of people's feathers, but how can you say that you're a Christian, but you can't accept a gay person in their transition or a gay person in their life journey? Just accept people. The biggest thing that God wants a lot of people to do is just live humbly. Be a humble person. Guide people in the right way if you can. Give people advice. You get what I mean? Don't force stuff onto people. You get what I mean? And I used to reject Jesus a lot. Like, I'm not a very spiritual person. I'm not a very religious person. That's what I meant. I'm a very spiritual person. I'm a very much a person that just believes in spirituality for this reason. Like, I was always taught that, God didn't sit here and like gays. God didn't like the gays. God didn't like the gays. God didn't like the gays. That was so ingrained in my head. And so when I came out to my mother and she's telling me this stuff, like, it literally broke me down. It like broke me down to the core. Like, I felt like I was literally at my lowest. So I'm literally screaming at her. We're having a screaming match. And, I felt so out of it because I felt like, now the one person that I really wanted to love me doesn't love me. And she's saying that she doesn't love me. She's saying that she can't support this gay, stuff. She can't support me wanting to be a woman. So it took me, trashing my room, and I finally calmed down. Like, I calmed down after me trashing my room, and I calmed down. And, I didn't talk to my mama for a while. Like, I literally just went to my friend's house. I didn't talk to her. She wanted me to come back home and she wanted me to talk to her. So I talked to her, of course, and she was basically telling me, like, I'm not gonna lie, it caught me off guard, I'm not gonna lie, I love you and you are my child and I will support you unconditionally, but it just threw me off. And, I'm like, will you support me in my transition if I wanted to transition medically, if I wanted to transition and all this stuff? She was like, it's gonna take me some time to adjust to it, but I would definitely be open to it. And after that, I just gave her the biggest hug, and I was like, I finally got what I wanted. Literally, I feel like a lot of us need that big push to get where we want. Because how I knew I was transgender, like, the summary is like, it just came to me. I thought about it. I've always thought about being born a woman. I've always thought about, me being born in the wrong body. And why am I born in the wrong body? Why is my name Isaiah? Why am I who I am? You get what I mean? And it took, me meeting certain people, and it took me opening my mind and being an open-minded person to realize, live in your truth and be who you are. And, after me, experiencing life, and after me experiencing a lot of things, I realized I'm not going nowhere. I'm not changing myself. I finally got on hormones. I finally got on estrogen, estradiol, progesterone, and testosterone blockers. I was on all of it. You get what I mean? But then when my mom passed away, you get what I mean? I got off the hormones. I couldn't afford the hormones. I couldn't keep going to the kind clinic. I couldn't keep doing everything that I wanted to do. And it broke my heart. Like, it literally broke my heart. And there are times where I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, why am I this person? And there's times where I look at myself and I'm just like, why am I this way? You get what I mean? And I always reassure myself that I am a beautiful black trans woman. And if I look like a man, I look like a man. If I look like a woman, I look like a woman. Whatever it gives, that's what it gave. And I always try to ingrain to myself, like, be as strong as you can be, because there's nobody like you in this world. And always tell yourself that you're a beautiful human being. If you don't tell yourself that you're a beautiful human being, you're never going to ever succeed in life. And I want a lot of people to understand me when I say this. You are beautiful. You might not like your clocky face. You might not like your strong chin. You might not like your double chin. You might not like how your weight, or just whatever. I'm just throwing things out. Don't get offended. Don't see no shade. But like, you might not like yourself enough, but you need to go in the mirror, literally, like, go in this mirror behind me, go into a mirror behind you, and just tell yourself that you are beautiful and you are worth so much more, and that you can complete your goals. And if a lot of people don't have your best interest, and if a lot of people aren't sitting here trying to push you to strive for the better, and push you to strive for more, and push you to want to do more for yourself, they don't need to be in your inner circle. You don't need those negative Nancy's in your inner circle. You don't need those negative Nancy's in your life. You don't need those negative people in your life. And it took me to sit here and get the acceptance and to get my mama to tell me that I'm a beautiful human being, and I don't ever need to tell myself that I'm ugly, to tell myself that I'm this, to tell myself that I'm that. She told me that I'm beautiful, and that's all I ever needed, was that one conversation with my mama that told me that I'm beautiful. And after that, I always lived like I'm the most beautiful person on earth, because that's just the way that you had to live your life. You had to live your life like you're the main character sometimes, because like, if you don't, you're gonna let a lot of people walk all over you. And I don't do that anymore. I don't let people walk all over me. Those days are over. I'm a beautiful black trans woman, and I'm not going nowhere. I'm beautiful. I'm black. I'm trans. I'm outrageous. I'm an extrovert. You know, I'm an encouraging person, and don't mind the stuttering, but like, I'm just a beautiful human being, and I have so much going for myself, and I want so much going for myself. I don't ever want to be stagnant. And when you're trans, you can't be stagnant. You have to keep going. You literally have to keep going. If you're a trans person watching this and you're still trying to figure out if you're trans or not, just look at yourself and think, like, what's making me think this? And then ask yourself, if I was to come out as trans, who's going to have my best interest and who's going to support me? If you feel like nobody's going to support you, that's where you have to come into play. Can I support myself? Can I do this by myself? If you can support yourself and you can tell yourself that you can do anything that you want in your life, you're going to be the most strongest person that anybody is ever going to meet. I promise you. If you could do anything by yourself, I promise you're going to be the most strongest, most beautifulest person in the world. You're a beautiful human being, and be strong in this world, because not everything is easy, and God didn't put you on this earth for it to be easy, okay? You're a beautiful human being. Straight Nicki Minaj. I love you guys. Live in your truth, and don't ever hide yourself for anybody. Don't ever hide yourself for anybody. Always be yourself, okay? This is my point of view of me being trans and me doing the things that I was doing when I was younger that has guided me in this way. You get what I mean? I left out a lot of things because I will get demonetized on here, but I might tell those in different story times. But it took me a long time to be comfortable in my skin, and it took me a long time to be comfortable in myself. Not everything is going to be easy. And like I always said, don't ever think that your transition will be easy. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be very challenging. You have to get up every day with a smile on your face, and put a smile on your face and say that I can do it. I am worth it. I am worth this. I am worth that. There are people in this world that will love me. I promise you. If nobody loves you, I love you. Now, it's hot, I'm tired, and I still got more videos to record. So, without further ado, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and leave me your thoughts and opinions down below. And if you want to, talk to me and ask for advice, I'm here. My comment section is always open. I am reading my comment section, unless it gets outrageous, okay? If it gets outrageous, I'm not reading it. No tea, no shade. But I love you guys. Make sure you stream Nicki Minaj. I'm your favorite black transsexual. Get up into the big purr, whatever. Nicki Minaj is the queen of rap. And bye, love.